Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having an absolutely incredible day. It is a week of gratitude, gratefulness, and I want to start by thanking each and every one of you for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me this morning. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share with you one of my absolute favorite books. It's called Intentional Living. And I want you to have these questions in your mind as we talk about starting a personal growth journey. Number one, where am I? Where are we today? We've heard it said so many times, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Where are you right at this very moment? And another example that I use, if I were to reach out to you and say, hey, I need to go to New York City. How do I get there? And you just said, hey, you can hop on a plane out of Fort Lauderdale. That would be great. However, you might not have asked enough questions, because the question you could want to ask is, where are you starting from? And that's one of the biggest gaps that people make when they set their goals, is they don't analyze where they're actually beginning from. So something to consider. Number one, where am I? Number two, where am I going? Where do I want the destination to be that I arrive at? And number three, how will I get there? And number three is the one that we're really going to be focusing on creating a plan with today, is how will I get there, which is why I'm going to provide to you all a copy of a growth plan that you can use to start your personal growth journey. And when I say your personal growth journey, remember, this is about your business growth as well. But if we're not a whole person, it's hard to put a business together. I want to start by reading out of this book for just a moment. It says, I believe we all have a longing to be significant, to make a contribution, to be part of something noble and purposeful. And to make that contribution, we need to be willing to focus on others. We need to give of ourselves. The action intentionality that he's talked about in this book is something that you need to develop. Many people look at all that's wrong in the world and mistakenly believe they cannot make a difference. The challenges loom and they feel small, and they think they must do big things to have a life that matters. Or they think to have a certain place in life from which to do something significant must happen first. Does that seed of doubt exist in you? Have you ever found yourself thinking or saying, I will be able to make a difference only when I come up with a really big idea, I get to a certain age, I make enough money, I reach a specific milestone in my career, I'm famous, or one that I think is the funniest, I will only be able to make a difference when I retire. None of these things is necessary before you can start to achieve significance. You may not realize it, but those hesitations are really nothing more than excuses. The only thing you need to achieve significance is to be intentional about starting. No matter where you are, who you are, or what you have. Do you believe that? You can make an impact. You cannot make an impact sitting still. Former NFL coach Tony Dungy once told me, do the ordinary things better than anyone else, and you will achieve excellence. The same is true for significance. Begin by doing ordinary things. Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That's true. In fact, so does every human being's first journey. As a child, we had to learn how to take the first step in order to walk. We don't think anything of it now, but it was a really, really big deal then. Every big thing that's ever been done started with a step. When Neil Armstrong took his first step on the moon, he stated, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But the first steps of that achievement occurred decades before. We can't get anywhere in life without taking that first step. Sometimes the step is hard, other times it's easy, but no matter what, you have to do it if you want to achieve big things. You never know when something small that you do for others is going to expand into something big. I want you to remember this right here, because I'm pretty sure many of you probably participated in it. It says that was true for Chris Kennedy, a golfer from Florida. In 2014, a friend nominated him to do the Ice Bucket Challenge for the charity of his choice. For the charity of his choice. Remember that. Kennedy passed along the challenge to his wife's cousin, Jeanette, because the two liked to tease and challenge each other. Kennedy chose ALS as his charity because Jeanette's husband suffered from the disease. Jeanette accepted the challenge, posted the video on her Facebook page, and nominated others. That was a small start of something big. In today's digital world, we talk about things going viral. The term viral was coined because the initiatives can spread quickly the way that germs do. We all found that out in 2020, right? Almost anything that starts out as a single idea, a bold statement, a YouTube video, a creative or memorable photo can gain vast popularity quickly and spread via the internet. The Ice Bucket Challenge soon went viral. If you somehow missed out on it, the idea was to either donate to the ALS Association or record a video of yourself being doused with ice water and then challenge 3 other people to donate or get doused. And most of the time people got doused and donated. This turned out to be a brilliant idea to raise money to help fight a disease that many people otherwise might not have known about and would not have donated to. Most people chose to give and get doused. When I accepted the challenge, I made the donation, and this is John Maxwell talking, and asked 3 of my grandchildren to do the honors of soaking me. They used not 1, but 3 freezing cold buckets of water. Though I pleaded for compassion and warm water, the grandkids showed no such mercy. Here's the best part of this whole thing. Over $113.3 million was donated just between July and September of 2014. As a result of the Ice Bucket Challenge, compared to 2.7 million donated during the same period of time the previous year. On Facebook alone, over 28 million people had uploaded, commented on, or liked Ice Bucket Challenge related posts as of the last time that this book was written in 2015. What can you do now? As you think about making a difference, be willing to start small. Write that down. Be willing to start small. You never know whether your passion-fueled idea will have an outcome similar to that of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Now, I want to give you 5 things to consider this morning as you are deciding where you are, where you're going, and how you will get there. Number 1 is start where you are. Our real freedom comes from being aware that we do not have to save the world. We must merely make a difference in the place where we live. Value people, work hard, stay emotionally strong, solve problems, work well with others, and lead by example. Maybe you know of somebody who's struggled with addiction of some sort. The first step to overcoming addiction is awareness, right? Well, you can also say awareness is knowing where you are. So in your business, do you know where you are right now? Now, if you're brand new in whatever business you're in, or if you're in real estate here, guess what? Everyone starts over January 1st, and it's a whole new year for everyone. So looks like you can go ahead and say, I'm at even right now. I'm starting with everyone else, and next year, here's what I want to accomplish. Number 2 is this. Start with your one thing. Gary Keller wrote a book about it, which is start with your one thing, right? But here's a little bit different take on what the one thing is. Your one thing is your strength. Now, I use this example when I teach a class called Quantum Leap of you don't see athletes going to the Olympics by choosing the sport that they were the worst at to begin with. Everybody has some level of natural talent. The athletes that go to the Olympics are the ones who took their natural talent and got even better at it by practicing over and over and over, by having a coach that looked at their blind spots and said, hey, here's what you may not be seeing. If you change this just a little bit, you'd probably get a little bit different result. And by the way, are most of those coaches that are coaching these athletes better than them? No. Most of these coaches that are coaching athletes are just looking at them from a different perspective because we can't see our own blind spots. That's why they're called blind spots, and saying, here's something you need to look at. So start with your one thing. Henry David Thoreau wrote, one is not born in the world to do everything, but to do something. Now, I'm not saying if you're in a certain career right now, this may not be your career for you. What I am saying is that in the career that you've chosen to be in, you don't have to be good at all of the things within that industry. You have to be good at one of them. Now, in real estate, think about it like this. There's several different forms of lead generation. Do you have to do all of them? No. Do the one that you're naturally good at, and then get better and better and better at the one form of lead generation that you absolutely love. And people come up to you and say, hey, Maria, the way that you start conversations with people blows my mind. I have no idea how you do it, and you've gotten so good at it. Can you teach me? Do it. Focus on that one thing that you're already naturally good at and develop that skill consistently. And remember this, investing in yourself is like taking a penny and doubling it in its value every single day. If you did that for a month, how much would you end up with? $100? $1,000? $1 million? Not even close. Investing in yourself is so important, and you can relate it to doubling a penny every single day, because Matt, if I gave you a penny today and said, hey, would you like to double this? And then that same day I gave you 2 pennies. If you and I did that exercise every single day for 31 days, at the end of 31 days, Matt, you'd have $21,474,836.48. That's the way that I want you to look at personal growth. It's a little to begin with, and then that compounds over time to create something massive. Number 3, start watching your words. Words kill and words give life. They're either poison or fruit. You get to choose. How are you speaking to yourself? Every single day when you get up, are your words, I can't or I can? I will or I won't? I'll try or I intend? Now, words are so important because they set the tone for the belief in ourselves. They also, believe it or not, set the tone for how others believe and show up with us. Negative self-talk will not help you in the long run at all. It actually holds you back in really, really big ways. If you don't believe what you want to achieve up here, guess what? It will never happen out here. It all starts right here between the ears, as my grandpa used to say. Starts between your ears. Number 4, start by making small changes. Start by making small changes. I would love to tell every single one of you that you're going to be an overnight success. And guess what? The only overnight successes that I've ever met before are people who won the lottery, and most of them also become overnight failures because they've never experienced that kind of money for them. Small changes turn out to be big results. It's easy to forget that even somebody who eventually did big things started out making small changes. Change can be difficult, but here's what I'll tell you. It becomes easier when you do it a little bit at a time. Success is gained in inches at a time, not in miles. Success is gained in inches at a time, not in miles. And the fifth and final thing is believe big. You know, Gary Keller has stood on stage many, many times and said, I believe that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year and way underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years. Now, why does he say that? He says that because he went from having nothing and being in a lot of debt to being a millionaire in less than 5 years. He himself underestimated what he could accomplish in a 5-year period of time. One of the most important steps you can take in your life is to increase your belief in yourself. If you don't believe you can make a difference, guess what? You won't. If you don't believe you can have the greatest business in your community or in your town, or be the greatest in your market center or in your business place, guess what? You won't. You won't. That's why those 5 things, let me go through them one more time, are so important. Number 1, start where you are. In order to start where you are, you have to know where you are. Number 2, start with your one thing. What is that one skill that we're going to get really, really good at and continue to develop? Number 3, start watching your words. Remember, ask yourself, what am I telling myself every single day when I get up? And start the day by giving yourself some gratitude and giving gratitude to others. Number 4, start by making small changes. And number 5, believe big. Now, how does this all come together? Well, the first 3 questions that I gave you today were, where am I? Where am I going? And how will I get there? How will you get there starts with a growth plan. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves the question, in order for me to achieve that, not just what do I need to do, but who do I need to become? Who do I need to surround myself with? Who do I need to read that's done things that I want to do? And so I want to share my screen with you, and I'm going to share with you the growth plan that I've been using for years. I rebranded it just a little bit, but here's what it is right here. This is the personal growth plan that I use every year. And it's got 5 different options for every single month. And I'm going to share with you the way that I do it. You can go and do it your own way, but I choose 2 books every single month. So 1 and 2 would be 2 books that I'm going to read. Yes, it sounds like a lot of books. And thank God for Audible. Thank God for Audible. Because what I found is there's a lot of times where I was sitting in my car listening to all kinds of music and stuff like that. And those were times where I was going from point A to point B, where I could have actually been investing in my own personal growth. And that's the change that I chose to make. So choose 2 books. That's what I do. Then I choose 2 events that I'm going to go to. Now, inside of KW, some of those events are family reunions. Some of them are mega camp. For me, every single year in October, I go to an event called Live to Lead in Atlanta, Georgia, with a ton of different leaders from all over the country. In November, every single year, I go to an event called the John Maxwell Exchange. But these events, remember, don't have to be major events. They can be things at your local board. They can be things at your Chamber of Commerce. The reason we want to do this is because we want to hang out with like-minded people who are also growing. So 2 events a month that you're going to go and participate in. This forces you to become active in the community and forces you to get out of your comfort zone if you want to stay there. don't do it. If you want to get out of your comfort zone, find 2 events to go to every single month. And then the 5th and final thing is something that I learned from my mentor, John Maxwell. It's called a learning lunch. And here's what that is. Find somebody who is above where you currently are and ask them if you can take them to lunch. And in that lunch, you just ask them questions. Ask them questions about how they've grown. Ask them questions about their biggest failure. You can learn a lot from somebody by them walking you through the things that they failed on, and then ask them the question, how did you overcome it? Those lunches for me have been some of the greatest investments I have ever made, because I've learned things from people and had other perspectives from people that if I didn't take them to lunch, I would have never known what was below the surface of the water and in that iceberg. We only see that top 10%. When you take them to lunch and really get to know them, you see the bottom 80%. So this right here, fill it out, find the things you're going to do every single month, 2 books, 2 events, and 1 person you want to take to lunch each month, not the same person each month, a different person every month. And then keep this in front of you every single day. Keep it on the wall at your desk. Keep it wherever you're going to see it every single day, so that you remember the ways that you're going to grow. And when you're creating this, make sure that you do it with the mindset of that final question: how will I, or where am I going? No, question number 2, and how will I get there? This is part of the how you will get there, because it's developing the person that you want to become. So with that being said, I want to open it up to you guys for any takeaways that you have from our conversation this morning, or any questions you want to ask. Bueller?
Go ahead, I'll talk. If you can hear
Yeah,
me, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good deal. I'll just share one small piece, and it's focusing down on one thing, because as a newer agent, there's all different kinds of things you can do, especially being somebody like myself wanting to be innovative as well. So like social media and trying to go that whole route with traditional prospecting, and just within traditional prospecting, there's 100 things you can do. So I really heard what you said as far as that goes. So zeroing down on one thing, or maybe 2, because I want to do a couple things,
That's
is better
fine.
than doing 10 things. So that's kind of the big thing that I got from this, and what I'm going to move forward on. So
Yeah, choose 1 or 2 things at the most. The moment you get above 3, you lose focus on all of them. And you're right. Unfortunately, any new entrepreneur normally focuses on, all right, I got to build my website, and I've got to get really good at social media. But here's the reality, y'all. If you build your website, but you don't have anyone that you're talking to, the website doesn't matter. Nobody's going to it. Go and talk to people, and then you can introduce them to your website, or you can introduce them to just your social media accounts, but you've got to have people first. And by the way, you can get the copy of the growth plan at scotttolar.com/EntreGrowth, the exact same link that you went to in order to get to this call. It's just right below it. Vicky. Vicky, can you hear me? I see your hand is up.
Hey, sorry, my phone wasn't working really great. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I just took a bunch of things and love Get the Plan. These are the things that I wrote down. Follow others that inspire you, lift you up, always be changing and growing. I definitely choose faith over fear. Practice makes perfect. Take action. Do what you do best and embrace your fear, but move forward anyway. See yourself as achieving your goals. Lead always from the heart and be authentic you. Because when you show up as that authentic person, you're going to win all the time. And most important is be consistent. So I just really, to me, I appreciate this so much, because we do have to always remember how important it is to have those dreams. And without having that dream or those dreams, you're never going to make that first step, because you have to choose that faith. Over the weekend,
Yeah.
I chose to do my door knocking again, and I got out of a funk. You do it, and then sometimes you're like, oh, I can't. And I was so happy I did, because I made so many connections. And that, I think, really just propels me forward. So you just got to make that step, and you got to make that first step. And when you do it, it just gives you that, like, oh, I can do this. I'm so happy I did it. So yeah.
Yeah. And always remember, it's not what you do occasionally, it's what you do consistently that really counts. Everybody can win occasionally, like just sometimes they'll get lucky. But people who are lucky consistently do it consistently over and over and over again, to where all of a sudden they're making their own luck. They're not just happening to get lucky, like they walked into a casino and just
Exactly.
jackpot, right? All right, Anna.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks for being on.
Awesome. So for me, I heard more of start small, because I feel that sometimes you stress yourself a little bit too much, and you just want so many big things, and things take steps. You can't just jump all the way to success. Even sometimes you're going backwards, and then going forward again. So for me, is go slow down and, start slow. And also, like, I just started making calls again, just like Vicky, with her door knocking. And, you stop because you get all the success and then you stop. So I need to figure out how to make my schedule a lot better and continue to call, even if you have deals going.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I learned early on, because I had some great coaches around me. But in those moments where we do have things going on, that's that time where we've got to put the pedal to the metal and really push through it. Because if we don't, we'll come out on the other side and we'll be like, all right, what do I do now? And not have a pipeline continuing to move forward. Alan.
Hey, good morning. I just want to say it's Thanksgiving, and I've been calling my spear, and you'll be amazed how quick the conversation turns to real estate. And somebody saw my Facebook post where I says I'll be doing a bold 100, and the couple said, "Yeah, I know why you're calling me. You're doing your bold 100." So that cut to the chase. I said, "Yeah, that's why I'm calling you." And another quick story was I'm getting a little cold. I'm not going to the office today. I know Supreme has a class today, but I jump started a lady's car. It took like 20 minutes yesterday. I didn't have an umbrella. I was soaking wet. Had my name tag on, and she says I just sold my property, or it's closing in 2 weeks in New York. She needs a realtor ASAP, and she just signed a buyer's agreement last night. So,
That is awesome, Alan.
And the strange thing is that happened twice in 3 weeks. I did that 3 weeks ago, and I got a buyer's agreement. So go around with your jumper cables and but bring an umbrella. So that's it for me.
Well, you know what, Alan, though?
And a name tag. Wear your name tag everywhere.
It's actually bigger than that, because what you did is you added value to somebody. And by doing that, they saw the value in you. And the fact that you were willing to stand out in the rain for 20 minutes and help them get their car started, they see the value in you, and they know that if you're willing to do that, imagine what he's going to be able to do to help us find the home that we want to live in. So Alan, great job on that. Now, I want to make sure that you guys know this. Tomorrow on our call, I'll be interviewing somebody. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he is one of, according to RIS Media, this year, he was one of the most influential people in real estate. So I will be interviewing him tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And as always, don't forget, everything that you've ever wanted in life is right outside of your comfort zone. In order for you to get it, you're going to have to get just a little bit uncomfortable. But like we talked about today, it doesn't have to be completely uncomfortable to start. just a little uncomfortable to start. And that little bit of uncomfortableness will create really, really big results for you. I appreciate y'all for being with us. Hope you're having a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.